Okay, the project we're working on today is changing the gear oil in the transmission on a BMW R1150GS. The things we're going to need for this are an 8mm Allen wrench. That's to take out the drain plug and also to take out the filler plug. We're going to need, of course, the gear oil. BMW calls for 75W90 gear oil, but we live here in Texas where it's about 100 degrees today and very warm all summer long, so I'm using the AMSOIL synthetic 75-140. And you also need a funnel with a flexible tube so you can get this filled into the top. The factory calls for 800 milliliters of gear oil in the transmission. Conveniently, if we pull this plug out, the fill plug, when we fill up the transmission, we're going to fill to the thread line on here, and that will be the proper level, sitting again on a level surface and sitting on the center stand. You don't ever want to fill it on the side stand because then you'll overfill. Also, we're going to need crush washers. BMW uses these crush washers on just about everything, and so you're going to need crush washers to replace the washers you pull off behind the fill plug and also your drain plug. So let's get started. Get that broke loose. Start backing it out. And while that's going, I'm going to open up the top to allow some air in there. So that will flow just a little bit better. What some guys will do is take an old toilet paper tube or a piece of cardboard and fold it and put it underneath here to get this to drain over the brake pedal. I'm not that worried about it. I'll just go ahead and wipe it down after I'm done. But you can do that and it causes less splatter and it'll work just fine. I'll let this drain for a few minutes. Okay, I've drained out the gear oil. There's a crush washer on the plug, and I'm simply going to put this back in. Tighten it up. And I wanted to explain to you, if you looked at that gear oil coming out of there, you may have thought that looks awful clean and clear to be changing the gear oil. Since it's recommended, I believe, that you do this at 18 or 20,000 miles. This bike was just recently purchased, and the reason I wanted to do that was I'm not sure when it was last changed. I know they changed the oil at the dealership. I'm not sure if they changed the gear oil. Also, I'm using an AMSOIL synthetic, as I said before, and because of the higher temps I wanted to go to a 75-140. I'm sure if it was changed at the dealership that they probably used a 75-90. So that's the reason it came out so clear. I think it was changed about 1,000 miles ago. But this way I know what I have in here and I'm good to leave it for quite a while. Now we're going to fill it sure this is turned on, open. In fact, I think I may pull this plug off of here. Put it all the way inside. And it takes, I believe, 800 milliliters. And again, that'll be to those threads, so I'm just going to pour it in. Okay, here you can see the gear oil level, and I've got it filled just right close to where it's going to come out, and that should be pretty well full. Is it on? Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the fill plug. Got the crush washer. Cleaned this all up around here to keep any contamination out. I'm just going to put that back in. Tighten that down. So we don't get any leaks. And you can use a torque wrench with an Allen bit on here to get the exact torque specifications. You can go online, and that way you can just double check, make sure you have these tight enough and not over tight, and that should take care of it.